Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Proverbs with Paul in the afternoon on this rather lovely day. A little bit chilly, might I say, but still a wonderful day. Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 3. A whip is for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. They're aggressive things, really. When you see the jockey whacking the back of the horse with a whip, you always think it was a little bit unkind, but it seems something that's acceptable in life. Historically, when they would ride into battle, they would beat the horse to make it ride faster, and they might attack the enemy. So there's, as it were, a weapon to make the horse work well, and then the bridle to make the donkey work well. And then for a slave to receive the rod, to whack a slave on the back with a rod, it seems drastically cruel as we look at life in these days. But it would appear, history would tell us, that the rod would cause the slave to do what the master wanted the slave doing. And you might say, well, why wouldn't the slave do it just because the master said it? I don't know. But it would appear that the master would beat the slave so that the slave would do what the master wants. And the rod produced pain, and the pain became the deterrent for the slave in terms of controlling the slave, like the bridle and like the whip. So the taking control of the slave through some physical means is what history tells us took place. Now, the point that Solomon is making is that unless the slave receives the pain, he won't do what he's supposed to be doing. And there are some people who have fallen so far away from being told that the only encounter they will respond to is the response of pain. Now, that doesn't seem like a legitimate thing to me, but that just shows you how far they have fallen away from being prepared to listen and be instructed, that they won't do what they're supposed to do unless they receive pain. What a negative thing that is. How far have they fallen away from what we might call a sensible response? Interesting. Thank you for joining me. Be blessed. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.